Hello, church. It is Thursday, August 20th, and I am Pastor Colleen. Today I would like to share with you a reading from the 32nd chapter of Genesis, beginning at the 22nd verse. The same night Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 maids, and his 11 children and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream, and likewise everything that he had. Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until daybreak. When the man saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he struck him on the hip socket, and Jacob's hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with him. And then he said, "Let me go, for the day is breaking." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." So he said to him, "What is your name?" And he said, "Jacob." Then the man said, "You shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel, for you have striven with God and with humans and have prevailed." Then Jacob asked him, "Please tell me your name." But he said, "Why is it you ask for my name?" And there he blessed him. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "For I have seen God face to face, and yet my life is preserved." So the author and minister Jan Richardson, in her book, The Cure for Sorrow, a book of blessings for times of grief, wrote a blessing for this story. She says that, "I'm finding this a good day to be reminded that sometimes the wrestling is where the blessing begins." If you're having that kind of day too, then this blessing is for you. So here's the blessing she wrote, which is called Jacob's Blessing. If this blessing were easy, anyone could claim it. As it is, I'm here to tell you that it will take some work. This is the blessing that visits you in the struggling, in the wrestling, in the striving. This is the blessing that comes after you have left everything behind, after you have stepped out, after you have crossed into that realm beyond every landmark you have known. This is the blessing that takes all night to find. It's not this blessing is so difficult, as if it were not filled with grace or with the love that lives in every line. It's simply that it requires you to want it, to ask for it, to place yourself in its path. It demands that you stand to meet it when it arrives, that you stretch yourself in ways you didn't know you could move, that you agreed to not give up. So when this blessing comes, born in the hands of the difficult angel who has chosen you, do not let go. Give yourself into its grip. It will wound you, but I tell you, there will come a day when what felt to you like limping was something more like dancing as you moved into the cadence of your new and blessed name. Dear church, I hope today this reminds you that sometimes the blessing happens where the wrestling begins. It is a difficult concept because we cannot imagine that blessing and wrestling would go together, but as we see, sometimes they do. Sometimes the blessings come in the struggle, and they are tenacious, and you have to hold tightly to them and not let them go before you can even acknowledge them and recognize how they have changed you. I pray that if this is your journey today, that you know that you are not alone. I pray that in the struggle, you will hold tightly to the blessing, and that you too will recognize your name within it. Thanks for listening, church. I'll see you again. Bye.